Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of From No Crypto to No Crypto. I'm your host, the Crypto Coach, Blockchain Wayne. Today we're joined by Fadi. Now, Fadi is, I guess you would say, a KOL, content creator. Fadi, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Blockchain Wayne. It's my pleasure to be here with you. Sure.
Awesome. And like I said, I don't know if I described that right, but when people ask you, what do you do? How would you describe that?
So, you can call me KOL in the Middle East. So, I'm usually do make content about crypto space. The alpha things. In the Middle East, it wasn't before 3, 4 years before that people share alpha together. So I built community. This community, we share all the knowledge we know about crypto, all the new opportunities, and so far it's go really pretty well. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, I definitely want to jump into kind of what it's been like building out that channel and community. But before we jump into that, Fadi, tell us a little bit about your background. Like, how did you get into this and what did you do before?
So I was in crypto since 2019, 18, 19. I'm just was trading in the centralized exchanges. Then I realized this is not real crypto. Crypto is just decentralized. So I began searching what is decentralized exchanges, and I just doing some swaps, interacting with wallets, and somehow I ended with YouTube channel and community. I share all my knowledge that I learned in the 4 to 3 years. Also, the when you get scammed, when you get, the weird thing in crypto, I also shared with my community. So they also appreciate it. They learn a lot from the Mr. Crypto channel, and yeah, so far we going really good in crypto.
That's good. Yeah, and you have to cover all of those topics because even if it's something you like, don't like, it's something that the community needs, right? It's best to talk about it because if not, they're going to go out somewhere and try to get information from somewhere else that may not be as good, may not be reliable, or they may end up getting scammed. And in some cases, I've seen someone get
Sure.
scammed twice. From they got scammed the first time and then they were searching for help. They ended up getting scammed again, right? So it's definitely important to have that community. Um,
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So your channel, so when someone goes to your channel, I mean, you've built a community. Where does your community mainly congregate? Like, where do you have conversation with them?
Yeah. So we do sometimes weekly spaces, and we do also in Telegram. We go live, with people. Just we talk about the new opportunities like airdrops, NFTs, crypto tokens that is not, not highlighted yet, and projects that are not listed yet, pre-sales. So all that we cover it in our community together for sure. Not only me, I work with few of my Mr. Crypto team, and we cover a lot of projects, a lot of ideas. So that is how we work together. It's not only me. It's just a community who interact with each other, and the most are from the Middle East. Iraq, Syria, Saudi Arabia, UAE. So it's just in the Arabic region, we can call that.
Gotcha, gotcha. I was about to ask about a team because I've, prior to even working for FIO, I created a lot of educational content for projects, and man, I can tell you, it's almost impossible as you if you want to grow something like that to do it alone, right? To not have
It's
a
all right. Yeah, yeah. One hand or two hands is not enough. I think you will have get more.
yeah. It just takes one person just to be able to consume everything out there and figure out what needs to be put out to the
Yeah,
community.
yeah.
So let's talk about that journey of building your community, right? Because that's one thing that I've always found is interesting is with this industry is communities pop up and people find communities they belong to. They get the right information. Some people end up in the wrong communities at first, right? And they get a lot of bad information or scams. But building a community, I mean, you mentioned when you talk, right? 2018, 2019 mainly, and you started
Yeah.
building that. That was the middle of a bear market, right? Because I remember those years; it was brutal. So how have you seen community building during that period versus when the market's like really
Now.
hot? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Unlike
so the hype is yeah, the hype is different for sure. I start building the community in 2021. That was just right in the bear market. And before I just was alone. So in the bear market, I thought let's do something new in the crypto space, and for in the Arabic region, it was not like now. Now is everyone just have the same knowledge with each other and shared with each other. But before, only few had the knowledge of crypto, how not to be scammed and how to trade at the right way, and all the opportunities are not shared yet. So I began doing that with community, and to be honest, when I see my community now, they are giving me a lot of good opportunities because they all are researching with me. And that is why I think building community in the bear market was huge success for me. And right now, I get only new people that are not interested really in Web3, only in centralized exchanges because they don't know how to use it. So now I will try to make another like episode how to interact in Web3. So I think this will be good in this season.
Right. And I think, a lot of people come to this space looking for how to make money, right? How to make profit. They don't really care about decentralization yet. They don't care about Web3 and why it's important.
No.
But
Mm.
that's where you can kind of feed them that information because they'll eventually realize it, right? And so, unfortunately, sometimes that's when something happens to them. But that's what another thing I noticed that you mentioned, like, yeah, building in a bear market gives you a lot of credibility because look at
Sure.
right now, right? How many experts are popping up right now talking about they know this, they know that about crypto. Trading is easy. Trading is easy in the bull market when everything's moving. Not so much, during a bear. And so you started in the middle of one bear cycle.
Yeah.
You
Mm.
community through, I'm sure 2021 and early 22 was very, you had a lot of people coming in probably, and then 2022 at the end of 22 is when we saw the full bear market hit again. You went through another cycle, and now
Exactly.
market's picking up. Everybody's asking questions. So I'm really glad to have you on at this point because it's really important to focus on that. And I always tell people like focus on who's been talking about this nonstop, not the ones that disappear when the market gets tough and then they just come back when it's easy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because then you'll have those guys that then they'll be pointing to look. I called these 5 coins and they all went up. Well, yeah, everything
You
was
will
going
never find them again.
right, right, right. Yeah, so
So
and
yeah, that's exactly what we're doing. We are staying just in the bear market bull run, and it's crypto. It's still early, I think, from my opinion. Sure, sure.
right, right. And see, I'm here in the U.S. and I'm sure you see the same thing there, right? Keeping your credibility is important when it comes to building your community because you'll have people approach you, ask you to pump certain coins for them, share them with your community, and I've seen it here, man. We've seen some big names in the U.S. that their credibility is pretty much shot. Like BitBoy and some others, where they just promoted a bunch of garbage to their community the last cycle. They made a ton of money, but then when those projects crashed and it came out that they weren't really what they said they were, that credibility is ruined. So it's important, and this is mainly for people that are listening to find the communities where you can trust what they're saying and really look at history, look at what's happened if you've got, if you're in a community and they're just constantly promoting a new coin or token every single day, just telling everybody to buy it, then that should be a red flag.
Mm. Yeah, I think what you say is just so important because we had that a lot before 1 year or 2 years ago. So when we see a project that they are building community and then they are not doing what they said before, so you see the community is just against them, and they are not happy with the results. I will not mention any project, but I think you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
They are still right now having that. Yeah, it's not so easy for them because the community is just against them.
yeah,
So yeah, it happened a lot. Yeah, for sure.
right. And so that's why it's important to look at, there's nothing wrong with community leaders talking about projects, right? But doing it from an educational standpoint, making sure people understand the risk rewards. You've probably seen this too, right? And I've done this over the years. I've fallen in love with certain projects based on their utility and how they could be used in the technology. But
Mm,
one reason or another, they just don't really do what they said they were going to do, or maybe they do what they said they were going to do, and it never really catches on yet. Maybe they're just too early in the adoption cycle of crypto, right? So as long as you make people understand that, and I think about that, some of the things, that I've seen over the years, is important to realize that just because it's a great project doesn't mean it's going to make it. Just because they have a great idea doesn't mean they're going to be the best.
Yeah.
This is evolving so fast.
And we see right now also project with utility. It's not the big thing right now. The season is just into the meme coins. So if you have 1 billion of market cap for the project, it's not like a meme coin that is 7 billion market cap. So we see that season right now, but I think it will go also to end at somehow,
Yeah.
because we see a lot of good technology of other blockchains, of other projects. So I hope that for sure.
Yeah, you've got a lot of I would call it like degen money in the market right now. People are just looking where they can gamble on these meme
Yeah.
coins.
Yeah.
When that sentiment shifts, everybody's going to be looking for quality projects. All right, where can I put this and not maybe go 300x in 2 days, but where can my where could it grow based on something that's building a utility? So I agree with you. I definitely think it's going to shift here soon in the future.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the market's been hot lately, so I'm curious to kind of see what are the biggest questions that you're seeing over and over again, like maybe the most common questions from people in your community.
So the most important question I get each day, when I'm gonna just cash out. Is it now the peak? Can we cash out right now? So for sure, I don't give any advice,
Yeah.
but we can just analyze it. And from my opinion, I think it's just the beginning right now.
Mm.
Bitcoin will hit for sure the 100K.
Oh, yeah.
And I said to my community, if Bitcoin hit 100K, I will do the Trump dance to my community. And they are so excited to see it.
Uh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I definitely think we're still it's just beginning this cycle as well. We've got a long way to go. And, for anybody that may be wondering that, I'm sure a lot of people listening probably had that same question. When do I cash out? And you've got to think about what is your priority, right?
Mm,
Because I think about my holdings and not everything is I'm in it for short-term profit. I've got a Bitcoin stack that when I buy it every week I buy more Bitcoin. I've been doing that since January 2017. Every week I buy Bitcoin, and that goes to a cold storage wallet. And I don't care what the price does,
yeah.
long, because you think about it.
Mm.
If you were holding Bitcoin at $10 and it went to 100, you would think you were a genius for cashing out. But looking at it right now, how do you think that person feel that got out at 100?
Different.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think some of the people that did the best in the market over the years that held Bitcoin long term were the ones that forgot about it. Because if they bought it and they're up 1,000x, at some point they're like, "Oh, I need to cash this out for dollars." And historically, you see that was kind of crazy if they did that. So for me, there's a certain amount I teach people and this is probably what you would do too, is have people evaluate what is your strategy. Now, obviously, if you're trading to take profits and you're playing in the market, then some of that money you definitely want to take profits as it goes up and as it goes down. But people are always worried about catching the top of the market to sell, catching the bottom of the market to buy, and they underestimate the um,
Yeah.
the stair step strategy. Where when I'm entering a position, I don't buy all in at once, right? I start to add to positions.
DCA. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, when I get out of positions, it's the same thing.
Mm.
Get out. I might not catch the top to sell, but
It's
it's hard
impossible. It's
when you
impossible. You never
yeah,
know
you think it hits the top and you think, oh, it's going to keep going, and then it starts dipping when that cycle's over, and you're like, oh, it's going to come back. It's just dipping a little bit again.
until not for 4 years ago.
Yeah, you missed your
Next.
opportunity to take profit. So never.
Yeah.
I think people should never regret taking profit early.
I
If
agree. I agree with that.
yeah,
But for someone who is holding Bitcoin, yeah, taking profit is so difficult, I think. Because you have something so it's worth more than gold, I think. And when you think I will take profit, you think then, oh, maybe I missed the huge opportunity for my children, for my upcoming years. So yeah, I think also like that.
yeah, good point, man. It's yeah, that's definitely a way that people need to think and in that long term. I feel the same way about Bitcoin because you're right. Definitely agree. It's more valuable than gold. It's scarcer
Yeah,
than
yeah,
gold. And so as adoption grows, we can look at past cycles and say, okay, well when it really retraced a lot, it it eventually hit this level before it pulled back. But the past cycles don't always repeat exactly. And with adoption growing, I mean, it could be the market's going down and we think we're going to be entering another bear market. Say a year from now, we're looking at it and the market starts going down. We're like, oh no, we're entering another bear market. But then all of a sudden, some country announces that they're adding Bitcoin to the reserve. And next thing you know, the price just goes crazy and you missed out on that because
Exactly.
you're trying to catch a few dollars of profit. Nothing. What is
Yeah.
your advice to people? So a lot of people look at places where they could stake and earn, and maybe lend their crypto. What advice do you give to people that they're looking like, hey, if I am going to hold this for long term, what about getting some kind of return on it while I'm holding it?
So yeah, I think the staking thing, it was really hype, 2 years, 3 years ago. Everyone do staking, and now in the bear market they were in lose with that. But I think the hype will be just return again, and everyone will stake his own token. Like I'm staking a lot of my wallets in the central exchange and decentralized also. So I have to balance it. And yeah, I think I have also a bunch of FIO and stake it also in the platform. I think it's a good project for me and also for my community. I will announce something big and new maybe in upcoming days. My followers will see it for sure. So yeah, this is my wallet. I'm staking for sure a few projects
Yeah.
for airdrops, also for investment.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's different levels of risk, right? Um, like for instance, I know how the FIO token is, and I compare it to there was a project I staked for quite a few years, which was Tezos, right? Where you stake it directly from your wallet that you control.
Mm,
You're not sending it to someone. When you stake on a centralized exchange, you have to be wary that you're lending your crypto to somebody else.
yeah,
Just like the
it's not
exchange.
your key. Yeah, it's not your
Right.
wallet.
So last cycle we saw what Voyager and Celsius were two big they were centralized lending platforms to where people would deposit their Bitcoin or ETH or other stuff and stake it and earn. And you got to think about that too. It's at risk, right? You're giving someone else your key. I always tell people when they're doing that, okay, look at what you're actually earning every month, and if you're giving up custody of that crypto. And I did this to a friend that was on Celsius, and I was like, you're giving up your key to someone else, and you actually know how to trade. So if you look at what you're earning each month, could you not make that in a few trades without having to worry about giving up?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But if you for the long term, I think it's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about diversifying risk because there's some platforms right now that I know of. Just let's just talk FIO right for a second.
Yeah.
There's an exchange right now that is offering 3 times what we offer on chain to stake. Right now, obviously,
Yeah.
exchange,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they're
Yeah.
using it for trading liquidity too, and they're paying you percent back, but you're putting more at higher risk. So while I'd have a majority of what I'm holding staking in my wallet on chain to where it's safe, I also
Yeah.
say, all right, this is what I can earn from this. Let me put a little bit in there and see what it goes. So I think that's what a lot of people miss too is when they don't evaluate the different levels of risk for each thing they do, then they make decisions that seem like they'd be a good decision, but you're putting way too much at risk.
Yeah. Especially if you have a cold wallet. This is awesome. I store a lot of my crypto in the cold wallet for long term for sure. Yeah. It's the best choice for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. I find that also helps me from not selling when I want to try to
Yeah.
try to take some profit when I should probably just hold out. If you have those, if I've got to go get my wallet and connect it and
It's a little bit a few steps, huh? You're
yeah,
getting lazy a little bit.
yeah, versus if it's on my phone and I can just access it, I can just okay, let me do
Yeah, that's correct. Correct. Yeah, yeah. I have the same. Yeah.
yeah. I had to do that a little bit recently, just kind of chasing the meme coin hype. I was like, I only keep a little bit of Solana in my Phantom wallet. That way, if I see like a meme coin that I do want to kind of gamble on a little bit, I'm not going to put a lot at risk because I only have a few $100s worth of Solana in there at a
So
time.
you are into the meme coin also.
I mean, it's kind of fun to play and chase it.
It's gambling. Yeah. It's just
It's straight gambling, right? It's no different than if I walked in a casino tomorrow and I want to play some blackjack or poker. I know that if I drop 250 on the table and I have fun, but when I walk out I don't have anything, I'm okay with that. And that's how people need to look at it.
this
Um,
is exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like a gambling outlet. But people that think that they're going to make life changing income or generational wealth from meme coins, you hear about it happening, but that's like a lottery ticket. It happens to maybe one in every 10 million people may have that access where they put in a few $100s and they make millions. Most of us are going to lose on some, like my experience has been. And then I've got a few that have kind of offset those to where, yeah, okay, those are doing really well, but it's there's nothing backing them. It's really just community and hype. So you just gotta kind of know. It's almost like the game where you got to know when to stop the buzzer, right? You got to know when to
Yeah,
take it.
yeah. So it's for me, it's also the same because 1 year ago, my community say also that about meme coin, it's scam, it's gambling, you should not do it. And 1 year later, they all gambling meme coin because the hype is there. They can earn money, they can put a huge risk and maybe lose all their money. So yeah, we also advise it's just too risky. So when you do it, you have to know that,
Yeah,
maybe you can lose everything you have. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's kind of and that's really, and that's kind of how it was before. I used to tell people to avoid it. I was like, the only meme coin I would hold for long term at the time was Dogecoin, right? And uh,
Yeah.
while that was done really well, if you held it for quite a few years, it was at least there. I saw they had their own blockchain, right? Proof of work blockchain. You can mine it. You can actually mine it at the same time you're mining Litecoin. But that's kind of where I was leaning, and there's no utility. But when you realize so many people are interested in memes, and I've always been a big fan of not necessarily meme coins, but memes in general, right? I mean, it's kind of a communication language. From the time the internet started, memes started to come out. And or I say when the internet went mainstream, where you every day where you had a computer in everybody's house, that's when you started to see memes start to be shared in no time. And so it's
Exactly.
fun, it's community, but you got to remember that it's just like a game. You can lose, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. 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 So I just trade each day. I think meme coin. I'm gambling there, and someday I'm come with a huge bags, and other day all
Yeah,
at lose. So yeah. So it's a good game, I think, for this market. It will end up soon, I think.
yeah,
It will be not like right now. It's too heavy right now. I think you have heard what's happening in the other platforms, the live streams and those things. It's too heavy.
yeah. Well, I just saw that pump.fun is
Yeah.
live stream capability just because of that, right? I mean,
Yeah,
there's
yeah, they shut it down. Yeah, yeah. This is exactly what I mean. It have to be really, you know, rejected from other people because it's not healthy to see that.
yeah,
It's also not good for crypto believers.
yeah,
When I tell my friend, he say, "Yeah, what you are doing is wrong." So it's not good for crypto.
yeah.
So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's I tell you it's and a lot of us realize that while Bitcoin is really moving, most of the legitimate alts are going to be kind of not moving as much. So it's like where's the action if you want to have some fun, but I'd rather see someone throw 10 or $15 into a meme coin than to say, "Oh, I've got $2,000 in the bank. That's all I have. Let me put all of this on this meme coin." Yeah, definitely don't do it. But that's where it gets a
Right.
bad rap and a bad name, but and I'd love to see, like, I want to see the evolution of some of these long lasting meme coins, like your Doge, your Shiba, and others, to where it's just going to take some companies or projects or different places to start accepting it or add some more utility to where you can use it. And it could go, I mean, we joke about this all the time, right? But think about X with Elon Musk, right? If he takes Twitter with X, it's called X now. I still call it Twitter for some reason, but
Yeah,
uh,
me too. Don't worry.
but say he says, all right, we're gonna start, about to start accepting Doge tips on there natively into the application. What will that do for the token, right? And so not everything has to have global utility where the whole world is using it. You can take some small little piece, add some more utility to it, and so
Mm.
that's kind of the social experiment I want to see, is to where there's going to be a point in the future. Now, whether that's in the next few years or the next 15 or 20 years, where
Maybe.
there's going to be a country that's going to adopt the national currency of crypto, and it's going to be a meme coin. It's going to be some meme token from 15 years ago that somebody that their national currency is going to have some picture of a dog or a frog or something on it.
Yeah, this will be awesome, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope to see that maybe.
So, and that's what we're going to see as the market goes. We're going to see. when the meme coin hype dies off. And I don't think it's going to be the meme coin hype that's going to die off. People's attention is going to shift as once the Bitcoin move above 100K starts to slow down and kind of start moving sideways a lot more. Then you're going to see attention shift to those alts. People are going to be like,
Yeah,
okay, what's the next big project that's going to be building, and they're going to look more at utility. So the market will get more rational as time goes on.
exactly. What do you think about altcoins? When are they gonna to move finally?
Yeah, see, for me, I'm thinking like early to mid January, maybe even February. Like full moves. We've seen some, and some people may look at the market and they see like, oh, I see XRP moved a little bit, or XLM, or Cardano, and those are a lot of ones that have been suppressed for a long time, and they
Mm,
recently had. So if a coin or a token gets some positive news, you may see a bump like we've seen with those. But in terms of what I'm talking about, where the market gets to where everything is just moving up, um,
yeah, yeah.
I think January to February. But you're gonna have to stand out, and that's where projects got to figure out how to stand out because man, there's so many layer one blockchains. There's so many layer two
It's a
blockchains.
lot. It's a
There's
lot. Yeah.
there's so many that have just attached AI to their name.
Mm,
And so you've kind of gotta um, thumb through that research. And I always tell people, I don't know what you do, but when it comes to when you finally make a decision, you've done your research, and the market starts shifting. Okay, I'm gonna put my money into this. Don't get that regret when you say, "Oh, I put it into this and it only went up, 50%, and this other one went up 65 or 70%." Right? You play that
yeah.
game where people will get too scared to make the wrong decision. They won't make a decision at all, and then they miss out on everything. So,
Yeah,
um,
that's exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
and
I believe. Sorry, I believe when Ethereum hit the 350 on the dollar, $3,500,
yeah,
it will begin the alt season. This is what I think, and this is my analysis. So I hope that also, like what you said, in mid January, maybe end December. I
yeah.
think it will begin.
Here's something to look at. People should start, and I don't know what you think. I think they should be researching those projects right now, right? Don't wait till the market gets hot and you're like, okay, what am I getting into? Start looking at it now, and then you may see that's where you could start DCAing into some early positions now. Set yourself a little bit better. But one of the charts I tell everybody to watch that I think is important to indicate alt season is the Ethereum BTC chart because it's
Mm,
Ethereum charted to BTC, and if you look at it, it's still in a down.
yeah,
It
yeah.
hasn't reversed yet. And so what that means is when Bitcoin starts to lose its dominance in the market and things start to pick up, then you'll see that shift. And there's been some fake people like in the past. I used to look at Bitcoin dominance because when Bitcoin was a big majority of the market, you mainly looked at that, and that's still a good indicator. The problem is a lot of inflated values in meme coins and other altcoins can offset that. So I always think like the true indicator is when that Ethereum BTC chart starts to tick back up and we see a reversal, then that's when I think we're going to really start to see alt season.
Oh, that's a good one. What do you think about the old bull run projects like Avax, Atom, Cosmos? Are they gonna be also like the old bull run?
I don't know. I
What you
think,
thought? What are you thought about that?
yeah, I mean, a lot of those they experienced some massive gains in the last run. When you look at those, um, I it really depends. I think out of those, probably Avalanche and Cosmos probably have some of the most potential. Um,
Mm,
I think Polkadot's going to make a reemergence, but it really depends on what as a because those are chains, right? Those are blockchain ecosystems. So it really depends on what they focus on and
and who use them?
what's being built on.
Also,
So if you
yeah,
got a
yeah.
handful of really good projects being built on them, that could boost the native token as well too.
I
So
agree. I agree. I agree. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I've got some positions in Cosmos, Avalanche, and also Polkadot, as I mentioned. But there's
Okay.
some others like Sui. Sui is another one that I've been accumulating for a little while. But right now it's just speculation. Those are ones that I think are going to do good, and if something changes
Yeah.
along the way, you can easily shift one to another without too much loss. Or
Yeah. I speaking about polka dots. If you're familiar with Manta,
yeah,
It's built on Polkadot also. So I think if Polkadot succeed, high success, I think Manta will be also following it.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
keep an eye on that.
Good point. Good point. Definitely. All right. So,
Yeah.
Fadi, as we start to wrap up, what kind of advice would you have for people that are listening in? Maybe they haven't even found the right community to join yet, and they're listening in because this podcast focuses a lot on new users, people that have been involved a little while,
Yeah.
looking to. So, what advice would you give them on that?
Yeah, look for people who will give you valuable content or information, and not only people who give you access, 10x, 100x.
Yeah.
Most of them are not real, for sure. Look for someone who gave you good information, educational things for yourself, and you have first to know a crypto before you invest it, for sure. Do a lot of research. It's so important. And don't do everything in one wallet, please. Don't. Just divide it in a few wallets, so you will never get catched
Yeah.
or hacked. Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
great
yeah.
point. That's a great point, right? So definitely love to hear that. So, all right, Fadi, thank you for joining us today, man. It's been a pleasure having you on. Definitely challenge everybody to check out his community. So, real quick, what's the best way for people to find you and then catch up on all your information with your community?
Yeah, I'm active on Twitter, and I have my Twitter for my link tree. You can just follow me on all my social networks. So, be free to ask me something or DM me. I'm okay with that. I will for sure answer you. Don't worry.
All right, and we've got your Twitter, your X account link below. So make sure to click on that and follow Fadi what he's doing, and feel free to reach out. So, Fadi,
Okay.
thanks again for joining us. Thanks everybody for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, everybody.
Thank you too. Hey, bye bye.